I would like to welcome everyone to today's FAST-TRAK. My name is Tony. I'm the Tracknet Client Trainer, and joining me today is Brandon from TriZetto, our clearinghouse partner. All users will be in listen-only mode, so if we do have any questions, we're going to want to ask those questions through the questions box on the GoToMeeting program. All right, the webinar will also be recorded and emailed to you following the webinar. And then Brandon, if you're ready, we'll go ahead and get started.
I am, and thank you, Tony, for the introduction. My name is Brandon Hoover. I am a National Account Executive here at TriZetto, and I'm excited to have an opportunity to present to you today, and I'll share my screen here in just a second, and we can get started. So hopefully everyone can see my screen, and prior to getting started, I do want to make everyone aware of some what's new here at TriZetto. So obviously we're becoming more and more under the Cognizant umbrella. So our whole motto for 2017 is being more than a clearinghouse. So here illustrated on this slide, we have our typical clearinghouse services that you're used to and come accustomed to with TriZetto Provider Solutions. And on the outside here, you have our newer solutions. So one of the more popular products that is gaining in momentum is our credentialing services. So now we can take over the credentialing, whether it's recredentialing, demographic changes, or brand new providers in the office that require credentialing. We can take that process over. We also have contract modeling, contract compliance, as well as denials management. And just to piggyback off of the eligibility that we'll be discussing today, we have our patient responsibility estimation. We can convert your EOBs to, your paper EOBs into electronic ERAs if you are still getting those, as well as our work comp electronic submission where you can add those attachments electronically. So just some of the newer things that are happening here at TriZetto are Cognizant. So if anything here is of interest, we can also discuss that just on another call. But moving forward into the eligibility, and again, my name is Brandon Hoover. For those just logging in, I'm with TriZetto Provider Solutions, a National Account Executive. And today we'll be covering our integrated eligibility through Tracknet. So just getting into the eligibility and why it's important. Obviously, we're seeing an increase in patient financial responsibility. So approximately 30% of medical practices revenue is now coming directly from patient responsibility, and that's actually expected to grow. So almost 6 out of 7 employers have implemented an increase in medical plan, cost sharing, or considering doing so within the next 3 years. So that's increasing those deductibles. So we are seeing an influx of patients with high deductible plans purchased through the health insurance exchange. So that actually the annual medical deductible for the exchange's bronze plans exceeds $5,300. So what that means for you providers is that there's going to be a lot more responsibility on the patient's end. So that's where that pricing transparency comes in. So due to those rising high deductible plans, more and more patients are forcing providers to be a little bit more transparent in the cost of the services. So that's where the eligibility solution really comes in. You're able to calculate that. We also have again, the patient responsibility estimation, which can give you a little bit more information as well. So getting right into the solution itself and what it looks like in the Tracknet software, you'll be able, once the solution is added, you'll be able to access it right from your patient's chart. So you'll see here this insurance link down here would be a new link on the bottom of your screen. So once it's activated, you can click that link and then go right to that patient to eligibility. So if you've seen this patient before, you will have that coverage information right here where you can click in and access all that information that you need. If not, we can just click the add button and to add that insurance carrier. So once you've double-clicked on that, you'll have a few tabs that come up with subscriber information, claim details, and you'll see right next to the claim details your eligibility. So clicking on that tab will give you the information that you're looking for. Now I know after speaking with quite a few podiatrists that there is some concern about DME eligibility. So we do have the optional service type field that you're seeing up here where you can scroll through the different benefit types. And then if it is a DME visit, you can click on that DME and you'll get that benefit information. So I will leave a chance for you to ask questions here at the end. Feel you're more than welcome to ask your questions now, and I'm not ignoring you. I just want to let everybody get their questions in, and we'll go through the questions at the end of the presentation. So moving forward, these are just a few slides of the information and the screenshots of the actual Tracknet software of what you'll see in each tab. So you have the information tab, which is typically just information you'd have prior to checking eligibility. You'd have your coverages. So it will be, you have multiple service types and you have a drop down for the information that you're looking for. You have co-payment information, real-time deductible information. So you will have both their in-network as well as out-of-network deductibles and what's remaining in those deductibles. Co-insurance information and real-time out-of-pocket information. So again, just touching on the service type option. I know that's huge in podiatry is DME, or whether or not you're getting that information, and it is payer specific. So some payers will provide that information, others won't. So we are dependent on that particular payer. But once you select that DME service type option, we'll populate all the information that those payers are providing to us. Again, here's another screenshot of what that will look like in the Tracknet software. So just to summarize the eligibility and why it's important now is just checking eligibility is becoming more important as the higher, we're seeing more and more higher deductible plans, and there are on the state level there are some new laws in place, and just depending on your state, where there is a good faith estimate that is required upon request within 30 days from that patient. So the MGMA states that the most common rejections are due to ineligible coverage. So we do recommend you're checking eligibility once you make that appointment, as well as when that patient comes in the door. So having a solution like this, since it is an unlimited basis, you'd be able to check each patient prior to them coming in the office, as well as when they come in the office, so you can check if anything has changed. So TriZetto Provider Solution does have over 900 direct eligibility connections that is going to give you the most up-to-date information in real time. So I'll go ahead and open the floor for any questions that both have already been asked, and if I've covered anything that and you can think of any new questions, you can go ahead and type them in the question field. So it looks
I
like
apologize for that.
No problem.
I had myself muted. It looks like the first question we have that is in relevance to the eligibility here is what is MGMA?
I'm sorry, I was on mute as well. It's a Medical Group Management Association.
Okay. The second one we have is, how is this different from information you can access online?
So this information is coming directly from the payer websites. So we're pulling it real time from their site. So it shouldn't be much difference. The real difference is that it's going to be more of a one-stop shop for you since you're currently utilizing the Tracknet software. We're pulling that right in, as well as there is a batch functionality where if you want to get that set up, we can pull it directly from your patients directly from your scheduler, so you have those responses waiting for you in the morning.
Okay, those are the only eligibility ones I see at this time. I have a couple questions regarding the TrackNet program itself. This webinar, we're kind of focusing more towards the eligibility with TriZetto here. We'll definitely get those questions that you're asking for the TrackNet program itself answered after the webinar, but we are gearing this one a little more towards the eligibility with TriZetto. So I don't want you to think we're definitely not ignoring you with those questions, but we are going to cover those with you after the webinar. All right. We're looking at twice we've had at the question, what is the cost of taking advantage of this feature?
So the cost is more so, I guess, specific to each practice. It is customized pricing. So if you do want customized pricing, you can give me a call. And I actually didn't update this slide, so that's actually my supervisor's extension. So please don't call him. My extension is 1160. So that's 1160. That is my email. But in terms of pricing, we are doing a promotion for our TrackNet clients that are attending this webinar. So anyone who wants to test out the solution, we are offering the first 2 months free.
Very nice. Our next question is can you show how to do a real-time estimate? Are you able to do that?
I can do a real-time estimate on our on the TriZetto demo site. It's not going to look like your TrackNet software. Is that something you'd want to take a look at?
You know, I think that would probably give them the basic idea because Tracknet software has been updated where it looks pretty much the same as on your TriZetto website. And unfortunately, I don't have a live Tracknet system where I could do that. So our person who asked the question said yes, she would like to see that.
Okay, I could pull that up 1 second. So here's a look at the TriZetto demo site here. We'll go down to check patient eligibility and then run individual eligibility inquiry. So here, I'm not sure if you're all familiar with the TriZetto website. You'd have a quick access to your payers. So I'll use this Blue Cross Blue Shield as an example. And you'd have a little bit of data entry. So with Tracknet, one of the benefits is that it's integrated with the software, so it's not going to be much data entry here. So I'll just go ahead and hit Submit Eligibility Inquiry. We'll have the patient information here. Is pretty much what you have in your software. Now, under the benefit information is really what we're looking for in terms of active coverage. So again, it will be multiple service types or multiple specialties. If you selected that specific service type, it'll be more specific. So you have deductible information, just like I showed you on the screenshots, both in network as well as out of network and what's remaining in those deductibles. You also have out of pocket, co-insurance, co-payment, as well as any limitations per that service type. So if there is any limitations or restrictions for that particular insurance coverage, it'll be listed here in the limitations. So just as quickly as I was able to pull that response, you get that response as well within 3 to 5 seconds. Hopefully that's what you were looking for. Does that answer any of your questions?
Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on to the next question. Well, I don't see a response from her at this time. The next question we got here is actually this one and her next one both relate. It is, can you get rates for DME codes, and then is there a place to type in actual procedure codes and have it give you real-time estimate for the patient? So those are kind of pretty much the same question.
So with the eligibility tool, no, there's no place for you to enter actual codes. Now we do have a tool, which is the patient responsibility estimation, where we do take it a step further. So if you are looking for a real-time estimation of what that particular code is going to be, you would need that additional tool that requires eligibility.
Okay. And our next question is, will the COB needed show if we do the eligibility?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Will the COB needed show it if we do the eligibility? Coordination of benefits is what the COB is meaning. So will the coordination of benefits needed show if they have the eligibility?
With that question, that's one of the first times I've been asked that question. So I would need to get with my product team and double check on that. As far as I know, it's going to let you know if there is coinsurance, but I'm not sure if it's going to let you know if there's a COB is needed.
Okay. The next one's more direct. I'll take the next one as, does Tracknet have that tool? They're talking in reference to the tool you were speaking of, add-on for the eligibility for the specific codes. The Tracknet program itself does not have that tool. We do have tools in the Tracknet program to review a lot of information towards those codes in relation to other Tracknet providers, but we don't have access outside of other Tracknet providers, so we don't have that tool. That would be something strictly through TriZetto. All right. The one with the question about the coordinations of benefits from patients is elaborating a little bit. They're getting a lot of claims that are being denied now because the patients have not contacted their insurance company. So it looks like they're getting a lot of denials because of the patient not contacting about that coordination of benefits. So that is, you said that is something you'll have to confer with your supervisor on to get further information on that?
Yes, I'll have to talk with our product team and get more information on that. So if you could, looks like Mary, if you could send us an email, and I can follow up with you on that.
Okay. Our next question is there a way to confirm our contracted rates?
With the payers? They're referring to the payers?
It doesn't specify. I would imagine it would mean the contracted rates with the payers, but unfortunately the question does not specify.
You can always refer back to the fee schedules for that information. Because we don't, unless you're utilizing some of our analytical tools where we have access to your fee schedules, we wouldn't have that information.
All right, I'm not showing any more questions as of yet. Anyone else have any questions? Anything else that they would like to cover? Question, does this TriZetto screen cost to use? So this is the individual eligibility inquiry, and they want to know, does this TriZetto screen cost to use?
So if you do not have the eligibility solution through Tracknet, it does. We do charge per click. If you have the integrated functionality through Tracknet, you can utilize either or. So if you just happen to be on this screen, you can check your eligibility just as you would if you were in your Tracknet software.
All right, any other questions? Did you have anything else you wanted to cover? Here we go. All right, looks like we have a similar question to previously. Is there a way to enter our codes when the patient is exiting and know exactly what their responsibility is? So it looks like we're back to, is there a way to enter in those codes and know exactly what the patient responsibility is going to be for those specific codes?
Right. So yeah, there is another tool, and I mentioned it at the beginning of the presentation. It's our patient responsibility estimation. Just like Tony was saying earlier, not a tool that's through Tracknet, but it is offered to Tracknet clients. It would give you that ability to accurately estimate your patient's balance before walking out of the door. So eligibility is required for that solution. So in order to have access to that tool, you would first need to set up your eligibility through Tracknet. So utilizing that eligibility response along with your rolling ERA history, we can also load in your fee schedules to make it more accurate. So with the fee schedules, it's I would say almost 100% accurate, and the only reason why I say almost 100% is because if anything's changed recently with your eligibility, that may skew things. With the reverse engineered method, it's up to 90% accurate, just because it is dependent on your historical remit data.
All right, our next question is, what is the cost of that tool? So we'd like to know what the cost of that tool is.
So again, all of our solutions here at TriZetto are do have customized pricing. So it does depend on how you're set up through TriZetto. So if you are interested in learning more about that tool or the eligibility information, you can send me an email, and I can take a look at your account and give you customized pricing. So if the interest is there, we can extend that offer, the 2-month free offer out for the patient responsibility estimation as well.
All right, at the moment we don't have any other questions. Anyone else have any other questions regarding the eligibility? Does not look like we have any other questions at the moment. Did you have anything else as far as the eligibility or the integration that you'd like to cover, Brandon?
I really don't have anything else, but if they would like to, I see there's quite a few questions about the patient responsibility estimation. So we do have a demo for that. I know we're kind of short on time here, but if you like to see a demo on either tool, or even if you want to revisit the integrated eligibility functionality, you can feel free to just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to schedule some time to review those tools with you.
Okay, so for both of those tools, I can just send you over an email or give you a call. You said your extension again was 116.
1160 is my extension.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. Last call for questions, and if anyone has any questions, we'll get them in now. All right, yeah, I'm not seeing any other questions coming in here at the moment. So we are a couple minutes ahead of time, but since we don't have any questions, if you have nothing else to cover, Brandon, we'll go ahead and close out the webinar.
Sounds good. And I wanted to just throw my extension back up there. I just made a edit to my slide. 1 second. There you go. There's my updated contact information. So if you want to give me a call directly, again, my extension is 1160 when you call in to TriZetto.
Okay, again, and I do apologize. As far as the questions sent regarding the macro MIPS and other items in TrackNet, we will get with you after the webinar and address those questions. This webinar here is focused on the eligibility with TriZetto. So we will get with you after this webinar to address those questions you asked as far as regarding your macro MIPS and then meaningful use and other items in the TrackNet program. All right, well, I don't see any more questions coming in for the eligibility. Like I said, any questions that came in that weren't in relation to the eligibility, we will follow up with you guys after the webinar regarding those questions. We'll go ahead and wrap up here. Bring my screen up here. All right, on the screen here I have some resources. We have our TrackNet YouTube page, which covers the different modules of TrackNet. There's a video in there for everything TrackNet. We also have a TrackNet wiki page, which covers all of TrackNet in both writing and links to those videos. We will send out a recording of this video, and then again, any questions that were asked during the webinar that were not answered, we'll be reaching out to you shortly after the webinar to cover those questions. And thank you everyone for attending, and have a wonderful day.